Hey, aspiring author, have you been telling yourself you're going to write a book, but somehow months or even years keep passing by? You've started, stopped, restarted, you've thought about it, planned it out, prayed about it, but you're still not finished. What if I told you it's not a lack of time, not a lack of ideas, but possibly self-sabotage? That's right. In today's episode, I'm breaking down 3 clear signs you might be holding yourself back and how to shift out of that cycle so you can finally move forward to write and publish your first book. Let's get it. Ready to write your first book and make an impact? Do you wish you could organize your book ideas without feeling overwhelmed and actually find the time to write and finish your book? Hey, I'm Donna Cherie, a book writing coach and author. Welcome to Book Writing Made Simple. Inside this podcast, I'll teach you how to get a clear vision for your book idea, get organized, keep it simple, and develop a writing plan so you can finally get your book out into the world. Grab a notebook and pen with your favorite cup of tea. Hey, welcome to Book Writing Made Simple. I'm your host, Donna Cherie, and I'm a book writing coach and author. Welcome. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the show. Do you feel like you're standing in your way, your own way? Have you had thoughts where you keep telling yourself, I'll start next week. I just need more time. I need to get more clear. Meanwhile, your book is just still sitting unwritten, whether that's in your mind or stored up in a notebook or on your computer. As I was thinking about what other hindrances trip aspiring authors up, because I know it can be overwhelm, I know it could be not having a plan. What came to my mind is self-sabotage. Sometimes procrastination can really be self-sabotage. And in my own experience in working with individuals, I find that self-sabotage can actually be someone's reality without even knowing it. Not to sound all psychological or like a psychologist or anything, but self-sabotage is a pattern. It doesn't just happen when a person is writing a book, but this could be a quote unquote normal pattern in a person's life. When things begin looking good or doors start to open, the person can shut down or they start to do little things to stop the progress or to stop moving forward from those opportunities. And that is self-sabotage. Here's the deal, sis. Self-sabotage is holding you hostage. It's delaying the very thing you've been called to do. It's delaying your book assignment, and that's so not cool. As a book writing coach, I've seen this pattern before. Women of faith who have powerful stories, I mean testimonies of how God did it, how he brought them through, and how they believe that God wants them to share their story with the world. They have clear ideas. Some of them have book titles, even outlines started. They begin strong, excited, ready. But then something shifts, something on the inside shifts, and then they begin to slow down. They stop showing up. They start over. They disappear from the process, not because they're incapable, but because something internally is resisting the completion. It's resisting what God has called them to do or desires from them to do to walk in their purpose. And sometimes it looks like fear. Sometimes it's overwhelm. Sometimes it's doubt. And instead of pushing through, they unintentionally start holding themselves back. And if we're being honest, you might see yourself in this of being holding yourself back, which is a form of self-sabotage. So today, here are 3 signs you may be holding yourself back from writing your first book. And I want you to Make a choice and make a decision today to come out of this pattern, to come out of this old way of thinking and stop self-sabotaging what the Lord has put in front of you so that you can move forward. So, the first sign you may be holding back from writing your first book is restarting instead of building where you are. So, what does that look like? This looks like constantly starting over, rewriting your outline again and again, scrapping ideas that were already good, that God has already solidified and told you to move forward on. It could be feeling like you need a fresh start every time. Every time you sit down to write, you got to have a fresh start or a new idea. But here's the reality. Restarting feels productive, but it's actually keeping you stuck. Because every time you restart, you delay progress. You're not building, you're just going around the hamster wheel. Instead of starting over, what you really need to do is build from what already exists. Even if it's underdeveloped, if it's incomplete, if it's just a few sentences or paragraphs, so what? That is good. That's how books get finished. You build from what already exists and you keep moving forward so that you can stop delaying your own progress. Sometimes we are our own biggest problem and hindrance. And I want that to stop for you as you're on your book writing journey. The second sign that identifies you may be holding yourself back from writing and finishing your first book is staying in the preparation phase too long. So, what do I mean by that? Watching more videos on YouTube or on social media, listening to more podcasts so that you can understand the whole progress. But don't stop listening to this podcast because I can really help you get to where you need to be. But, just binge watching and subscribing to a whole bunch of different podcasts and never taking any action. Another sign could be researching how to write and that you've been researching for 5, 7 years on how to write a book or how to write a memoir instead of just taking a chance or tweaking your title, your theme, your idea constantly over and over again. This is remaining in the preparation phase, and it also resembles the hamster wheel. Like you feel like you're making progress by doing research, by listening to more podcasts, by watching more videos, but never really taking any action from the preparation that you've already done. So, all while your manuscript is still empty. It's one thing that if you are listening to a podcast such as this, plug, researching and you're moving the needle forward. But if you still don't have a manuscript in progress, what is really the point? Preparation feels safe. It's not too risky. Sometimes we don't want to take risks. We don't want to feel like we're putting ourselves out there. But when we begin to write, writing feels real, that we've actually begin to start the process. Writing requires you to show up, to be seen, to actually do the work. So instead of stepping into that as it relates to self-sabotage, you stay in get ready mode. Like you're saying, oh yeah, I'm getting all my ducks in a row. I'm learning this, I'm learning that, I'm getting this resource over here so that when I am ready, I'll have all these things. But yet, it does not lead to progress. And at some point, you have to get out of getting ready mode. At some point, you have to close the preparation phase and start writing your draft. You can't stay there forever. You don't need more information. You don't need to be an information hoarder. I used to be like this. I was an information hoarder, just consuming so much content and about different things that I was interested in, like podcasting or learning how to start a business. And I would consume so much information, and it made me feel really overwhelmed that I never actually took any action or got far with all the information that I had. I just had like a hub of resources, but what was I actually doing with it? And because I was listening to so many voices, that kept me from actually moving forward. So for you, you don't need more information. You don't need to hoard any more information. You need execution. And I'll also add that you need to be listening to the voice of the Lord and also the voice or voices that He has put in your path to help you move forward, to help you actually execute and write your book. The third sign, and this is a big one, this is where self-sabotage really shows up. And it can look like staying in isolation, not sharing your progress with anyone, keeping your book writing happenings a secret, being unresponsive when someone checks in on you about your book, making excuses instead of taking action, having a woe is me mindset in the sense of, oh, I don't know how to do this, so I can't write my book, or I don't have access to this, so I can't write my book. I don't know how I should start this introduction, so I can't write my book. And just finding every little thing that distracts you or keeps you away from learning or seeking help from writing your book. It also shows up as receiving encouragement, but not doing anything with it. There's people out there who are encouraging you to write a book because you're a great author, or they've read some of the manuscript that you already have, or you've shared some of the thoughts and ideas of the books that you already have, and people have encouraged you to do it, but you've done nothing with it. That is a part of self-sabotage and avoiding accountability when there's people in your corner in your life or who God has led you to really help you progress forward and write your book. Let's be real. Accountability requires responsibility. And when someone is holding you accountable, it exposes whether you're actually showing up or not. So instead of leaning into that support, you pull away, you isolate, you avoid. Listen, you cannot grow in isolation. And I'm not talking about the type of isolation where you rest and you retreat, because that's one thing. But I'm talking about the isolation that causes you to shut down, to wallow, to feel depressed, and listen to the voice of self-doubt. You cannot finish your book if you're constantly avoiding the very structure and support that can help you move forward. And this is a clear sign that you're self-sabotaging your book progress. So let me ask you this. Which one are you? Which one can you identify with? Are you restarting over and over? Are you stuck in preparation mode? Or are you avoiding accountability? There is no judgment here. What I'm sharing, I'm helping you to identify, I'm helping bring awareness, because once you recognize the pattern of self-sabotage, you can break it. Having an awareness and then taking action to stop that old pattern will help you break out of that cycle so that you can complete your God assignment to write and publish your first book. So if this episode spoke to you today and you're ready to stop the cycle of self-sabotage and finally move forward with your book, of course, subscribe to the show so that you keep getting that encouragement. You'll get actionable tips that you can put in place to actually get writing. But I also want to help you on a deeper level. I'm going to help you organize your thoughts, create a clear plan, and stay accountable so you can write and publish your first book, so you can stop with these signs, these self-sabotaging signs that are holding you back. You can go right now to donnacherie.com/coaching. Let's get your book out of your head and into your hands. Let's make a kingdom impact. You're not lacking ideas. You're not lacking time. You just have to stop standing in your own way. Recognize the pattern of self-sabotage, make the shift, and finish what you started. I pray that this episode has blessed you today, that you'll do some reflections and make some changes so that you can move forward with your book writing journey. Until next time, ciao. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's episode inspired you to take that next step to write your book. Remember, small steps lead to big results. If this podcast has blessed you in some way, be sure to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. Your support means the world to me, and it helps others to find the show. Also, be sure to pass on the inspiration by sharing this episode with a friend who could benefit from this message. God bless you, sis, and never, ever give up.